trying to think about how to get around those cuss words, and then I forgot the lyrics, so sorry, Mom, just had to say them. I skipped the big one, though. Mom and Dad come to a lot of my shows, and she has to be a guinea pig a little bit, I guess, because I make a bunch of jokes. She knows I love her. That's my Mom and Dad right here in the third row, folks. Give them a big hand. I've got a couple CDs that I've done. I'm in the process of, I'm actually going to Knoxville for a show next Saturday. I'm going to do a little recording on Friday to demo a few songs. And it's always better to get in the studio and put them down just by yourself and see what you want to change. So I'm going to do a couple tonight, and hopefully they'll go all right. But this song here was, being a songwriter, you kind of end up doing some shows, if you will, that you always don't look that forward to doing, and I'm referring to like funerals and such. And I had a friend of mine that, he's a couple years older than me, but he passed away, I guess, back in November or early December, I can't remember which, but after I heard about it, I drove to Winchester to the visitation, and I kind of had a feeling that the question was going to get asked if I'd come sing, so I was trying to go ahead and psych myself up for it, because I believe in being honest with your emotions and so forth, but when you're singing it at a funeral or a wedding for that matter, you can really kind of make or break the whole comfort to the family or what have you. And I've had lots of moms get mad if I forgot lyrics at weddings. And but I sang it. Cody Woodall was his name. I sang at his funeral, and after it was over, a friend of mine, we got together and drank a few glasses of water and talked about the day. And on the way home, I got this idea for this song in my head, and it had a bunch of kind of like similes in it, or metaphors, but they were kind of this opposite thing. And I thought, man, that's a weird song. It's kind of a John Prine type song. And I wasn't really sure I'd tie it all in. Well, I get on this back road between Winchester and Hazel Green. I have to go on about 16 miles of back roads. And I noticed going down the road this particular evening that they had put stripes on the road. And not only stripes, but they also put some reflectors down the center line, which I thought was absolutely ridiculous because there's probably only 10 cars that go down that road all day long. And there's a little church parking lot I pulled into, and I wrote most of this song that night. So I say all that to say this isn't about Cody, but I kind of dedicate it to him because the events of that day inspired it. And this is called Reflectors. It's water. So we don't know. Dark as the sun on a bluebird day, it's like an atheist that kneels down to pray. And like a Baptist preacher that drinks a glass of wine over the hands of a clock that don't care about the time. I'm following reflectors got me to my home. It's been a long day and I'm glad that it's gone. Following reflectors that take me to my bed, where I can rest these weary eyes and lay down my head. Like a long fire just won't burn, or a world on an axis that no longer turns. But like the coming of the seasons that refuse to change, oh, two young lovers that cannot find a flame. Following reflectors got me to my home. It's been a long day and I'm glad that it's gone. Following reflectors take me to my bed, where I can rest these weary eyes and lay down my head. Heard a funny moan that makes no sense at all, like a wide open space confined by four walls, like a nation of peace intent on spreading war over a tortured prisoner that cries out for more. Following reflectors got me to my home. It's been a long day and I'm glad that it's gone. Following reflectors take me to my bed, where I can rest these weary eyes and lay down my head. Following reflectors got me to my home. It's been a long day and I'm glad that it's gone. All right. Well, y'all gonna get tortured for one song. If this doesn't go real well, it's the only song I play harmonica on. And I got a haircut finally the other day and got my beard trimmed. So shouldn't have any accidents with any whiskers from a mustache. That's happened numerous times. And I'd hate for that to happen tonight, because usually when it happens, I'm not real happy about it and let something slip, perhaps. But I mentioned Robinella a while ago. She was here in January, and the way her and I crossed paths is we met in, I guess, around end of 1995, and we started singing as a duet in some churches. And then we were in a little bluegrass band called the String Beans, and we played around Knoxville for 2 or 3 years, and actually had a pretty good little run going for the local scene. There was a radio station that had just started up, and we played on one of their shows a few times and all that good stuff. And then I moved to Oklahoma, and we split up, the band did, and Robin all of a sudden got this big record deal. And I wasn't real sure what to think about that. And because the same people were listening when I was there with her. But anyhow, when I was out in Oklahoma, she would occasionally, just to rub it in, say, "Hey Jay, why don't you come back and do this show with me?" I was like, "Well, Robin, I am 13 and a half hours away. Oh, don't worry about it. I'll fly you home." I was like, "All right, well, we'll do that." So anyhow, this song is all about trying to get back to Tennessee as a whole, but Knoxville specifically. That's kind of our little music hub, and we've got a bluegrass Americana radio station there that's community supported and has really changed the entire dynamics of the music scene in Knoxville, and it's kind of become a small little mecca for singer-songwriters and such. So this song called "Going Home," and we'll do this one for Robin, because I had her in mind on this last verse. Well, I think I will be Knoxville, see some friends of mine. We're gonna spend the night on the mountain some more moonshine. When my head starts spinning, my knees get weak, I lift the song of the well, sing me to sleep. And I'm going home, I can't wait to get back home. Will I wake up the next morning, start the day with you? I can't wait to see the mountain tops, it's the southern blue. I live in the rush of the bed, see me through the day, baby loud on the mountain balls like I'm taking a shade. And I'm going home, I can't wait to get back home. Where there'll be some bluegrass picking when I get back to town. We're gonna sing the mountain harmonies, pass the jar around. With my some moonshine cherries, smile a great big smile. Seems like the river have been home for a while. And I'm going home, I can't wait to get back home. And I'm going home, I can't wait to get back home. All right, thanks. Let's see here. Got this new song laid at my feet. I may end up doing it later, but I finished it today, so I don't have the words memorized. But it's always best just to go ahead and throw it out there, I think, sometimes, although sometimes you look pretty stupid doing it, too. This next song, I've told this story numerous times, and my mom was convinced that I'm going to get arrested. But being a wildlife biologist, you know, you're not supposed to break any wildlife laws and such. And in this case, I don't really feel like I did. But I had this cardinal that was coming by my bedroom window pretty much right at daybreak every morning. And I like to hunt and everything, but I don't like to get up at daybreak every single day. And especially being a kept man, you know, I set the coffee pot the night before, and I get up by the time the wife leaves. Stacy, excuse me. But anyhow, this cardinal was coming and pounding on my bedroom window. And at the time, I was working on a grant at the University of Tennessee out of a house in Alabama. And I was kind of under the gun to get this report done. And it just wasn't happening. It wasn't flowing that well. And it seemed like every time I'd get in the zone, this cardinal would come and smack into my office window. And then would go out to our driveway and get in the side view mirror of the car and fight with itself there. And some of you probably have had that sort of thing happen. I mean, this thing was habitual. It went from one to the other and back again. And it just really, after about 2 weeks, it just really drove me insane. And I'd done everything out of 11 and a half years of college, and this proves to me that I'm educated beyond my intelligence. But after 11 and a half years of college, everything I tried that they taught me in school to get this stupid bird to quit banging into a window didn't work. So I finally got really mad one day, and I took care of it with my old 12 gauge. And so anyway, that's a felony. That's what makes my mom nervous. It is a migratory bird. Now, I say all that to say I felt kind of guilty about it, especially after it seems like Stacy had called me not soon after that, and I told her what had happened. And she was like, "Oh, Jay, that bird's nesting somewhere." So then I felt guilty, and I actually wrote down part of this song. But then, you know, how do you write a song about a poor little cardinal you just shot? And so I sat on it a while, and I found that if you get an idea that you think's stupid or good, if you just let it sit a while, it eventually will come to you. Well, about 3 months later, I was sitting at a little place in Huntsville watching a singer-songwriter play, and he was opening up for this big band, and nobody in the audience was paying any attention to him whatsoever. And I thought, man, and he was good, and I thought, man, I've been in that guy's shoes so many times, and I felt for him, and I was like, man, nobody's paying any attention to what that guy's got to say. And it clicked. So I went home and wrote the rest of this song. We'll dedicate it to that guy Rex who was singing, and that little cardinal who God has taken to the place where he takes little cardinals after they leave this world. And this is called Unheard. There's a red bird outside my window. He's fighting with his reflection. He keeps banging his head against the glass, frustrated with her rejection. You know, sometimes I kind of feel for that little red bird. And there's a skeleton in my closet. Her bones rattle from time to time. And I swear sometimes I hear her laughing. Playing tricks on my mind. I keep telling myself she's just an old bag of bones. And there's a heart sitting on my sleeve. It's here most of the time. Bleeding emotions and honesty, they get some line by line. You know me and that red bird, we ain't much different at all. He's got a song to sing that echoes the sounds of spring. And he don't want to be alone. No one's listening to his song. You know me and that red bird, we ain't much different at all. I keep banging my head, singing a song, no one's listening to one of my buddies I write with in Knoxville, his name is Jeff Barber. And Jeff's kind of one of these compulsive guys. He's incredibly creative, but he's got some issues and some quirks, you know. And he's really the only guy I sat down face to face with and tried to write a song with. I learned right away that you got about 20 good minutes before he needs a cigarette. And once he goes outside to smoke, his creative juices just, I don't know if it's the nicotine or what. So we usually get started on a song, and then we'll take it home with us, and I'll email him and say, hey, what do you think about this? And he does the same. And he's a big Vern Gosdin fan, which I am as well. Any Vern Gosdin fans? I'm not singing any Vern songs, I'm just asking, because I like Vern. That's when music in Nashville was really, really country. And anyhow, Jeff and I, we like to listen to a lot of Vern Gosdin. And Jeff always likes to write drinking songs. And I'm totally opposed to drinking songs. I just won't have none of it. I mean, being a common Presbyterian preacher's son, you know, us Presbyterians, we just don't do that kind of stuff. Anyhow, I found out pretty soon I was going to have to give in and do that. But he always said that I could always screw up a good drinking song or bring the Lord into it. So I'm going to sing a little song called When I Get to Drinking. And you'll see what I mean here in a minute. You know, Jeff, we wrote this for a buddy of mine named Mike McGill. And it's on my new record. And I'm going to do a little different version. And I'm going to do a little slower version, although I'm not going to sound anything like Vern Gosdin. When I get to drinking, this whole world melts away. There's no troubles or sorrows at the end of my day. Yeah, I'm a life of party. You know I'm everybody's friend. The only time I can hide, pretend I'm satisfied, is when I get to drinking. It's just another wasted day, making money for someone else. He goes home to his wife, and I go home by myself. He has dinner with his family about the time I hit the bar. Reads his kids a bedtime story about the time my life starts. When I get drinking, this whole world melts away. There's no troubles or sorrows at the end of my day. Yeah, I'm a life of party. I'm everybody's friend. The only time I can hide, pretend I'm satisfied, is when I get to drink. Lord, I know this probably ain't the life planned out for me. I'm just another man, you know it's all I'll ever be. But tomorrow's a new day, with a chance to get it right. So all I ask of you now, Lord, is help me make it home tonight. When I get to drinking, this whole world melts away. There's no troubles or sorrows at the end of my day. Yeah, I'm a life of party. I'm everybody's friend. The only time I can hide, pretend I'm satisfied, is when I get to drinking. The only time I can hide, pretend I'm satisfied, is when I get to drinking.
Well,
Ray, how we doing on time?
44 minutes and 32 seconds.
I thought you were being smart like for a minute, but all right. Better be glad you got that camera, buddy. I'm not as intimidating as I look. I'm really a nice guy. Let's see here. Sing a song, Scrappy. My friends call her Scrappy. Anyway, we'll do a song I wrote for my papa. As I mentioned, my dad's here tonight, and Dad and I, at least in the immediate family, are not completely, but almost out of the whole immediate family, we're the only two males, with the exception of a couple others, that are associated with the coal mines in western Kentucky in one way or the other. And my papa worked in the coal mines for 42 years, and he was also a veteran of World War II, which I'm real proud of. But he was also a good Democrat, a good Southern Democrat when one existed. And it's a typical story of the miners that you hear over and over and over again. You go out and they bust their hump and work like a dog all these years, and they live and die by the union and so forth. And next thing you know, you get black lung, and the company doesn't want to take care of you and does everything they can to fight against the doctors saying that you have black lung. And that's what happened to my papa. And so he taught me a lot about a lot of things in life, and a lot of stuff I didn't learn until actually after he had already passed on. And a couple of those were to not be afraid to speak out for what you believe in, whether that be from a religious standpoint or a political standpoint. And Lord knows I watched hours and hours of C-SPAN when I was about 11 years old, and I had to listen to Papa yell at the TV. And so at the time I thought he was crazy, but now I catch myself at 34 years old doing the same thing. So we'll do this one for John Tooney Clark, and this is called Coal Mine Man. Western Kentucky, coal mine man, putting food on the table, digging coal with his hands, pick and shovel were the tools of his trade. Honest day's work on the Union man's way, and on the southern bank, the Ohio River, down deep in a cold black hole. He left his whole life for his kids and his wife. Dig on Mr. Peabody's coal. Well, he was caught off the war back in 1944. Man willing to fight for the cause. And all was left in the air, well, it was more than he could bear. He never said much about the things that he saw. And on the southern bank, the Ohio River, he left a boy who came back a man. Him for life, but it was back to those mines, the Western Kentucky coal mine man. Well, after 42 years mining for gold, fell short of breath, the dust took its toll. And a coal company doctor and a crooked federal judge denied him his pension for having a black lung. It was a cold January, Kentucky wind old dusty plain, another miner's life. He'll never get worried about mining for coal, 'cause there's no dust in heaven, all the streets fade to gold. And all the southern man, the Ohio River, that's where he breathed his last breath. He'll rest forevermore beneath that old Kentucky shore, in heaven where his soul passed on. He was a Western Kentucky coal mine man. Let's see here. That's that hard on the sleep part. Let's see here. Well, I also do this one. Papa didn't directly inspire this song, but indirectly did. And when I first started writing, I always just kind of kept it simple, and I mean I brought my emotions into it, but it wasn't mad emotions. And then there's a couple things out there that make me mad and frustrated, and that I don't think they have to be the way they are. And I'm not about to throw down a bunch of politics here, so nobody get nervous. But when I was thinking about writing this next song, I thought, there are some folks that I even know, especially around the Knoxville area, that are probably not going to like this song, or that they might feel a little upset about it. And then I thought about my papa sitting outside this little coal mine. He grew up in Wheatcroft, Kentucky, which is, now it's a bunch of trailers with meth labs in them, I think. But it's at one time it was 250, 300 people there. And there's a company store and all that kind of stuff. But growing up, I remember Mom and Dad left me with Papa for a couple of days, and he had just gotten a video camera, and he was real excited about this video camera. And he had been complaining to the coal mining company there in Wheatcroft that their trucks were coming through the middle of town there, and the railroad cars were coming through, and they weren't covering up the coal, and so dust was getting everywhere, and it was covering all. At the time, I don't think they had a post office then, but they had a little store and a little diner called Miner's Diner, and a bunch of houses, which most of them had white aluminum siding, and they were all covered in this black dust. Well, to make a long story short, and I didn't find out this until later. My papa has a museum there in Wheatcroft, and I found these 2 volumes about that thick of deposition that the citizens of Wheatcroft had filed suit against this coal mining company because of the dust problems they were having. And when I was probably 10 or so, Papa had taken me down to the beginning, across the road from where the trucks came out of this mine, and he had this old camera, and he tried to hold it, and it'd make you throw up 4 or 5 times over trying to watch it on TV. But those trucks would come out and dust would be flying out, and he'd be like, that's not right there, that's what I'm talking about. Anyway, I feel sorry for the judge and the lawyers and everybody that had to watch this, because it was bad. But in hindsight, that's exactly what I thought, man, that's how you do it. If you see something you don't like and you can change it and do it in a rational way and in the right way, then do it. So I didn't take anybody to court. I just wrote a song, and if it makes them feel a little uncomfortable, maybe they'll think about it. So all that said, this song, I'm a big hiker. I like to backpack. I love to hunt. Like I said, I went to school a long time to be out in the woods, but now I sit at a computer. And nothing makes me madder, especially up around the Smokies and in western North Carolina. When I go walk 8 miles, get to the top of the mountain, and I get up there, and there's a big old mansion on top of the ridge across from me, right outside some boundary line, and all the trees and everything. And it's not the fact that they cut down the trees, it's just the fact that they cleared this entire top of this mountain, so everybody has to look at their house. And I own 11 acres myself, and so I'm all about private property rights, but we can, the county can still get their tax money And we're about to have this big problem in Franklin County, I'm afraid, on the Cumberland Plateau there. They're running water up the mountain as we speak. And there's going to be, instead of this nice, beautiful viewscape that we have, there's going to be these houses dotted everywhere unless people start saying, hey, that's not what we want to look at all the time. And the county can still make their money from the revenues, from the taxes. The developers can still make their money. And the people can still have their houses there. It just won't be screwing up everybody else's view. So that was the catalyst for this whole song. I know it's a long story, but that's what this is about, right? But this song's called Progress. The first verse talks about the little woodlot that I grew up playing in, and they ripped it down to put a subdivision in, which, you know, in hindsight, that doesn't make me that mad, but I was 11-year-old, and it was around New Year's, and we had bottle rocket guns. I feel kind of sorry for the bulldozer operator. The second verse is about a road that they were trying to build through the middle of the Smokies, which is the largest wilderness area in the eastern U.S., and or roadless area, I should say. And I do a lot of black bear work, and that's not blackberry. Everybody thinks my accent. It's not blackberry. Black bear work in the Smokies, and this was right through some prime habitat. So we'll send a second verse out to a former representative who got beat largely because of this issue in the last election, Mr. Charles Taylor, and this is called Progress. Well, when I was a kid, I used to meet my buddies in the woods beneath the red sky tree. We built us a fort, camped there many nights, hid our seats in dirty magazines. Heard about rocket guns, some homemade slingshots, couldn't stop the big yellow machines. Our woods were replaced, driveways and homes. They can't take away my memories. And it don't look like progress to me. No, it don't look like progress to me. Why can't they just all let it be? 'Cause it don't look like progress to me. There was a politician on Capitol Hill, determined to build him a road right through the heart of the mountain, in the name of economic growth. And he don't seem to care, don't share, to support his idea of a need. He's got a fork in his pockets, dollar signs in his eyes, making too damn blind to see that it don't look like progress to me. No, it don't look like progress to me. Why can't they just all let it be? 'Cause it don't look like progress to me. I just love springtime in Tennessee. I love to go up on the mountain. It cleanses a poor man's soul. But when I look out across the ridges, I see more and more rich man's homes. Well, it makes me wish I were a buzzard and I could fly through the sky so blue. I'd roost right above their big windows, and I'd crap all over their view too. It don't look like progress to me. No, it don't look like progress to me. Why can't they just all let it be? 'Cause it don't look like progress to me. Now the politicians, they're probably wishing little short people like me just quit my bitching, and I probably would if they just stopped to listen. That it don't look like progress to me. Talked so much for that last song, I got hoarse. 2, 3, 1.
It's 1 hour right now.
1 hour right now.
Oh, is it? All right, I'll do one then. We'll save that new one for Next time I don't want to end on that. I want to might screw up on. Well, after punishing you with a couple protest songs and drinking songs in a church, and Mama asked forgiveness tonight.
I was worried. The only thing that saves him is his Presbyterian.
Yeah, probably right. But after doing all that, I'll end on a gospel song. And this is a legitimate gospel song. This isn't one of the, what I would consider somewhat gospel. At some of these places you end up playing, people come up and say, I love that gospel song you sang. It's like, which one? Oh, that one. You talk about being drunk when you went to church. All right, that's gospel for you, man. As long as you know what it is, go home, think about it if that ain't you. But first of all, I appreciate being here. I appreciate Mary offering the invitation, and would love to come back sometime. I told her in our email exchanges, I was telling her that, Robin told me how much fun she had when she was here, and we both try to focus our efforts on listening audiences, and I would much rather sing for 10 people that actually want to listen than 1,000 that don't care. And it's kind of like if you were a painter and you were going to put your paintings up in a hallway that nobody walks down or nobody ever stops to look at them. And because it is an art form, and I appreciate y'all respecting that and taking the time to listen. So thanks for having me. I do have a couple CDs and some shirts over there. Big Bright Orange if you're a UT fan. I think Mom's sporting one tonight. She's going to do a little catwalk thing on the table. And I also have some canned koozies, and they'll keep Coke as cold as they will an adult beverage. So they come in camouflage, green if you're a hunter, and if you've got a relative overseas or something in Iraq or Afghanistan, I also have desert camo, and send a bunch of those over there actually. And we'll be praying for those folks over there as well. But appreciate being here again. This song, the story pretty much tells itself, but I got asked to sing at Oak Lawn Baptist Church in Winchester back years ago. This probably would have been around 1992 or 3. And I was sitting on the front row waiting for the service to start, and they led this guy down the aisle and set him down next to me. And he kind of, at first I thought he was a homeless person or something, and then I realized he was blind and an older fella. And the actions from watching him, I learned. I have to admit I didn't hear much. I don't remember the sermon that day, but I certainly remember what happened with this fella and the impact it had on me. And it's called The Blind Man. So again, appreciate y'all's attention. In a little church one Sunday, I sat on the front row. A man sat down beside me, whose name I do not know. His Bible read in braille, 'cause he was blind. But the things that man could see were not seen with his eyes. When the preacher asked for witnesses, he raised his hand to speak. He rustled in his pocket as he arose to his feet. He pulled out an old harmonica and he stood before the crowd. Said, I want to play a song for you about a new love that I found. And he played Victory in Jesus, my Savior forever. He saw me and he bought me with his redeeming blood. He loved me, yeah, I knew him, and all my love is to him. He plunged me to victory beneath the cleansing flood. With the crowd full of tears after the song had been played, the blind man raised his hands high and said, I thank God for this day. I thank him for his son, because he saved a wretch like me. Once I was lost in sin, blind, now I see. Now the words of that blind man will always stick with me. 'Cause it's easy to take for granted the things we cannot see. It was a wonderful message in the vision of the blind man's eyes. When the path is dark and I can't see, God is there to be my guide. And it's through victory in Jesus, my Savior forever. He saw me and he bought me with his redeeming blood. He loved me, yeah, I knew him, all my love to him. Plunge me to victory beneath the cleansing flood. Yes, he plunged me to victory beneath the cleansing flood.
That was a great show. I just love that. I got your CDs when you sent them to me, and I love them. They're just great. They're over here. They're $15 a piece, 2 for $25. Is that right?
That's right.
It's got an email listing also if you want to get on that. It's going to be playing in Nashville at the Bluebird soon, and Franklin. It's a good thing. We sure appreciate you coming.
Thanks for having
It
me.
was a great show. A lot of fun, a lot of laughing. That's great.
Sure.
Yes. I told you about the hamburger supper next month, so we want to make sure that you come to that. And Claire Lynch will be with us next month. She's a very fine songbird. She's something else. A lot of encouragement to get her to come to Normandy Music Night, but she's coming, and that's going to be a great show. As always, we're open on Sunday morning. If you don't have a church home, or if you want to come and visit us, we're open at 9 a.m. and we would love to have you. Be sure to drop $1 in the plate for the lights, of course, and the heat and the air and everything downstairs. We appreciate you coming. We look forward to seeing you next month, and I hope you have a great April. Good night.